is why. You see him looking at that gate. Well, he tried to cheat the gate just a little bit and got hung up on the pipe. And I think, Paul, there may be some damage to the front end of that machine. That's why he's not up to speed out on the course.
You see, he tries to fight the bike back out of the gate, and it's tough to get it to come loose. And then, as he took off, this occurred. He dug that front wheel in and almost totally lost control of the bike. Only incredible skill really got it back under him. So the combination of the two have put him so far back, it really doesn't matter at this moment. We look at the fight now for second place. On the Honda, Rick Ryan, 1R. He's being chased by RADER Manneh, the 20-year-old on the number 6 Kawasaki.
And RADER last season won the Dodge Dakota Transcal CMC Series. That was a big victory for him, and he's still in the hunt for this one. Rick Ryan, 1R, a Honda-mounted rider, currently in the second position with RADER Manneh right behind him.
And remember, Ryan is a privateer. Once again, he pays his own way. He went out, bought the bike in the store, has no particular special support from the manufacturers in any way. He is, on the other hand, running against bikes that are prepared, paid for, engineered, designed, completely supplied by the factory. So when he's this far forward, he's doing very well.
Let me tell you the dark horse here. That's Larry Brooks, number 28. He's in the 4th place right now and starting to pick on the 3rd place rider, number 6, RADER Manneh.
Behind him, Larry Brooks finished 5th in the first moto, earned 32 points, so he's trying to get as far forward as he can. But at the moment, we still have Mike Healey running in 1st place. He finished 2nd in the first moto, so unless something happens to Healey, he seems to be a shoe-in on that Italian bike for the overall win.
But if something does happen to Healey, we are going to need a computer to figure out who wins this thing overall.
So the possibilities here at Carlsbad, at the moment at least, are endless, and that makes for great racing.
Well, the youngster that captured our imagination and attention to the first moto, Shawn, Kalos 911, he's way back in 2013. He had a bad start, very similar to Mickey Diamond's, the 1D rider. So there's Shawn. You saw his shining face when Paul talked to him earlier after that first moto. But right now, he's just struggling back there.
But notice, Shawn is not about to give up. He's going to continue to fight. Just ahead of him, A.J. Whiting, Eddie Hicks. He's trying to fight with both of them. He may not be a winner at the end of the day, but he's going to ride for all it's worth.
And this is one sport you don't ever want the reputation as a quitter. You ride as hard as you can, despite whatever problems you may be having physically or with the machine.
Still out in front of this field is Mike Healey. We're watching the back of the pack now as 911, Shawn Kalos, who won the first moto, got a terrible start, trying desperately to work his way up and at least put some sort of showing into this field.
Well, it's at moments like this that a youngster like Shawn has to remember those good days and know that they'll come again. Like I mentioned earlier, in Aloha Stadium last season, at the age of 14, he completely lapped the professional field. And I had personally never seen that done before, Paul.
And at age 13, he became one of the youngest pros ever in CMC history. So he's been riding as a pro now for several years, and he's only 15 years old.
And he's a support rider currently, but I have a feeling that's going to change very soon. His grandfather's a great big bus with a workshop in it, and they travel in style. He wants this boy to go somewhere and is willing to put up whatever it takes.
I don't think there's any question that Yamaha is taking a hard look at Shawn, the possibility of moving him up to a full factory contract sometime in the very near future.
Well, if they're not, another manufacturer might be.
One very, very tough rider, 911, Shawn Kalos. Back to the lead. Here is number 66, the Italian bike, Mike Healey. And in second place, 1R, Rick Ryan, a privateer riding on the Honda. So two unusual situations. This new Italian bike out in front and a privateer on a Honda in second place. There is Mike Healey on that new bike. He is our leader at the moment, and he is in very good position to pick up an overall win. Remember, he finished second in the first moto. So Mike Healey leads it, and it's a strong lead that he has over Rick Ryan. Manneh is third, Brooks is fourth, Boland rides in fifth. We'll be back with more of the 125 pros in a...
No, this is not the infield at Healey racetrack in Florida. These flamingos are at the San Diego Wild Animal Park, where millions come each year to contemplate the wild animals of the world and nature's wilderness. And birds are a big part of this facility, which is owned and operated by the same people that manage the world-famous San Diego Zoo. This has to be a must on your vacation list in Southern California, and why not a trip to Carlsbad Raceway, where we continue with the 125 pros and the CMC Dodge Truck Golden State Nationals. I'm Steve Evans along with Paul Page, and great racing we have seen today and continue to see.
As we look back in the field now, here is a fight for 7th. Jeff Bestang runs in 7th at the moment on 1X, and that's Mike Kydrowski on 42 chasing him down.
And all the action on the course today is starting to dry it out. You can see it's starting to get holes and whoop-de-doos, as the racers call them. It's getting more and more difficult to track that bike in a straight line. But Mike Healey is having pretty good luck at doing it on the Kajiva number 66. He is leading, but look at one-hour Rick Ryan closing in on him.
I tell you, Rick Ryan has been there throughout this run. The Honda Privateer running very well. And once again, 2 extraordinary circumstances. A brand new bike out in front, a Privateer chasing. I think you really have to give a lot of credit to Rick Ryan. He's maintained a position about 12 feet off the back of Healey's machine.
And you can bet Healey knows he's there. He can hear him. He can feel his presence. We talked about there being 2 motos and points awarded and combined. Well, if there's any kind of a tie, it's the finish in the second moto that breaks that tie. So the second moto, in that instance, can be a bit more important.
These 2 riders at the front of the field, Healey and Ryan, are really perfection. Look at the way they control these machines. Now, these 125s are nicely powered for their weight, and so the riders can really throw them around. And we watch Mike Healey, despite the fact, as Steve mentioned, that the circuit is really drying out, and it's getting worse and worse with every lap. But still, he's a master at getting the machine around the circuit, getting it to settle down, keeping it out of the air, and keeping it on the power.
You know, Paul, they're headed uphill now, threading their way to the top of the mountain, which is the beginning of what we call the Carlsbad Freeway. And I think that downhill section, when we see Healey, that's a lot like a downhill skier. It takes some of the same abilities and balance.
As we take a look at the second-place rider who continues to chase Mike Healey, you know, there's another situation here, Steve, and that is that these riders, if you really want to be good in motocross in the world, you have to come to Southern California. And what a neat feeling it is to be at a circuit like Carlsbad that has all of the fine tradition, is older than any one of these riders here. You just know this is where all the greats are made, and I'm trying to be one too.
Oh, that's right. And there's a lot of publicity these days about Supercross in major stadiums around the country. They sell them out. Anaheim Stadium, 70-some-odd thousand people. The largest crowd ever in Anaheim Stadium was not for the Rams or baseball's Angels, but for a motocross. But to a lot of these riders, this is tradition. This is where real men race, outdoors in the wild.
Physically, what is the difference, Steve, between running this and running the Supercross?
Well, I think in many ways, Paul, they're equally punishing, because Supercross has towering jumps that just drop you off of, like driving off the roof of your house. It's not nearly as fast. You can't attain the speed, but they build such a rugged, bumpy, it's a course that makes the Baja look like a picnic.
On the other hand, Carlsbad really takes it out of you. In fact, on similar courses in Europe, when the riders are done, they just simply drop the bikes, run and collapse. They don't do interviews or anything.
And also here at Carlsbad, you have speed, great speed, and you better get used to it fast. Here's the race for 3rd place coming at us right now.
Number 6, RADER Manneh, and he is being chased again and continually by number 28, Larry Brooks. Both men trying to figure into the points. Both men going for a first overall win should something happen to Mike Healey, but that doesn't appear likely at the moment. So they continue to chop at one another as we take a look at Larry Brooks. He runs in 4th. He is trying to move up.
And at this point in the race, your arms are getting tired, your legs are getting tired, your equipment is maybe getting a little bit tired. The oil is hot in the front forks. It's not dampening quite as well. The monoshock on the rear, same thing can happen there. So bike and rider, maybe not quite as good as they were when they left the gate.
Once again, though, Carlsbad has rewarded all of us with some tremendous fighting here. We're watching this wonderful battle at the lead, but again, as so often occurs in motocross, we're seeing fights all up and down through the field. Earlier, way back in 23rd, we watched Shawn Kalos as he tried to work his way forward, not giving up simply because he got a bad start.
Well, I'll tell you, these 2 riders fighting for 2nd and 3rd right here are just beating on each other. 1R Rick Ryan and number 6 RADER Manneh. That's for the 2nd position, and occasionally one guy will get out a couple of bike lengths, and then they'll almost hit. They get so close together, and can they ever fly? You'd think they had wings.
I think that battle is actually carrying them further forward because they're beginning to close down on Mike Healey now.